Hello, hello. How are all my beasties? See, I made it to this one. I didn't sleep through the first part this time. I'm a good. I'm good. Even though I just watched 5.5 hours of stupid. 5.5 hours of stupid. Yay.
Now you have a small taste of what it's been like to be me over the last couple of weeks. Ugh.
No, you subjected yourself to that shit. You don't get to whine about it. Has he like resurfaced?
Oh,
John.
I don't know.
Oh, I haven't heard from him after that first message this morning.
Hey, we got a J-Lo in the house. Cool. And Patty. Hi, Patty.
Patty. Do the patty. Do the patty. Snarky pee.
Yep.
Oh
Look,
my.
I have sent in
Hi,
clothes.
Sandy. I'm glad you love me for it. Because that's 5.5 hours of my life I'm not getting back.
Flowers.
Mm-hmm. 5.5 hours. Hi, Sandy and the flowers. Those are very nice.
So, how are you tonight? How is everybody?
I'm doing what the computer in the courtroom and the judge were doing and rethinking their life choices thanks to that stream.
Yeah, I thought about life choices today, and Blanche says that I'm a horrible mommy and I should make better life choices. And I said, fine, it's nice outside. So I made ribeye steaks for dinner.
You could have just mailed her to Izzy.
You know what? If Izzy was here, I would have probably cooked twice as many steaks. And said, Izzy, guess what I made you? I made you the
moo chicken.
The moo chicken.
On the couch.
She needed moo chicken.
Woof.
You should see us. We went to Outback the one day and she ordered moo chicken. Look at that.
Okay, I got it. Took me a second.
When she was like 2.5, she went through this like point where she would only eat chicken. Wouldn't even look at steak. And then we referred to it as moo chicken, and now all she eats is moo chicken.
Well, you can't blame her. Because it is delicious.
I don't eat it.
You don't have to eat it. The Izzy will eat it for you.
Yes.
Yeah, she eats it like a 12-ounce New York strip steak by herself in one sitting.
Damn.
Yeah, I know.
She's a hungry child.
My life choices earlier today led to me spilling most of my pot sticker sauce. So I have pot stickers that don't have sauce and some cold Jack Daniel's glazed chicken strips. But in all honesty, I don't want to eat. I did eat 3 pot stickers and 1 chicken piece though today. And I drank some iced tea.
You would have liked my grilled vegetables, I bet.
Probably not.
Why? It was asparagus and peppers with garlic, salt and pepper and butter.
Oh, I don't do the butter. I don't like the tree part of the asparagus.
Well, nobody likes the tree part of the asparagus.
No, I don't like the asparagus tops.
Oh, well, that's okay. You could have my bottoms.
That's like Oh, Sandy, I'm not eating dry ones. I can make the sauce downstairs. I'm just too lazy to go downstairs right now and make more pot sticker sauce.
Isn't
Yeah.
pot sticker sauce just rice wine vinegar and soy sauce?
For the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But I bumped the container during the stream. And then it spilled the sauce into an empty box. Which happily I had it. There was an empty box, so like I didn't get it on like my carpet. But I can still smell it, and I'm too lazy to go downstairs. But yeah, Link, I have to force myself to eat. I've gone like 3 and 4 days without eating until somebody pointed it out. Hey, Cookie.
Hey, Cookie.
One of you two needs to mute YouTube. I hear myself.
I don't have YouTube on.
No, I don't either.
Somebody does.
Mm-mm.
Because I was echoing.
I've learned I turn it off as soon as I turn on the link.
Apple juice, grapes, and tuna melt on toast. I can go with apple juice. I like grapes. I'm very limited on the amount of seafood I can eat because of the iodine. But even so, I don't do tuna melt. I will eat like cooked tuna, like the ahi, but I don't like it sushi or pink. Like, it has to be well done. That's an immunocompromised thing. But like, I'll put it on my salad. I have no problem with that. But just not hungry this past week. So we'll give all the loves a few more minutes to wander themselves on in here and figure out what the questions are about Gun 101. Where is this?
Chunk white albacore.
Chunk late albacore has a much higher mercury level than chunk light. So I used to like the chunk white albacore, but it has such a high mercury level, and I am so limited because of the iodine. So okay, they want Guns 101.
Guns 101.
Okay, well, there's 15 here. So, this is how we're going to do Guns 101. Well, one of the ways. Okay, I tend to bake.
Where's our Amanda?
I don't know where Amanda is yet.
Link, if you use coconut oil with a little bit of pineapple juice as a topping on the fish, it comes out flaky and tender and has the taste of tropical stuff in it.
I'm allergic to coconut.
So in Loki's case, we spray the pan with a...
My favorite way is the bake. So there's a restaurant in PA called Eaton Park, and they take cod and they put it into a like ramekin and they cover it with buttered breadcrumbs and then they run it through the salamander a few times.
Oh yeah,
It's amazing.
That's good.
Yeah, I eat that. I like
I could
tuna
do that
sticks.
for you.
I used to love swordfish, like white wine garlic swordfish. But when I had gotten my mercury levels back.
They said no more.
They were like, nah. You need to lay off big game fish. So,
And you said, okay.
begrudgingly.
Yeah, I've got a recipe for cod, and you put it on a baking sheet, you top it with whatever moisturizing type thing. You can use olive oil, you can use butter, whatever, and then you sprinkle it with breadcrumbs and a little bit of dillweed,
Hey,
and you
Raz.
bake it. Hi, Raz.
Yeah, mercury and iodine are in most fish, and I'm highly, highly limited because of my cancer to the amount of mercury and iodine that I can consume.
Strictly freshwater fish?
Any.
It's because of all the runoff.
Not just that, there's iodine in almost all seafood. There's iodine in chocolate.
Okay, that's just rude.
I agree. That would suck.
I
That's
have
just rude.
I have to eat a fairly low iodine diet. Croc, did you fall off a chair?
No.
That's not what
No,
that
that
sounded like.
That was my shoulder popping.
Nope. I moved my walking stick.
Oh, okay. Mayor Wrench McNome, are you gonna lead our militia for me? Our gnome militia?
I think he should. He needs to be in charge of housing. He knows how to house 48 kids in a mushroom.
You're fatally allergic to peanuts. Yeah, I am fatally allergic to most tropical fruit, coconut, blue cheese, a whole bunch of medicine, avocado, or as my child calls them, shrekticles. So, cadmium. Intellectual, I do not have any wish jewelry. I do not own any wish jewelry.
I have no idea what's happening here.
Mayor Wrench McNutt. Intellectual, I'm very confused.
Mayor McNome, I know quite a few people who have that particular allergy as well.
See, my problem is tree nuts. All stripes.
Yeah, I don't know which one of the two of them's echoing. It's one of the two of you.
Am I echoing?
No, but I can hear myself echo when I talk, so it's coming from one of your two.
Keep talking for a sec.
I don't want to.
Let me do this. Settings, audio.
Oh, okay, intellectual. I was confused. I was like, I don't own wish jewelry. Okay, what? Debbie,
Okay, I've
I'm
got the
allergic
echo
to the sun.
cancellation. Is this better?
Yes, I'm not echoing anymore.
Okay.
I don't know why coconut milk would make your nose bleed.
It wouldn't. At least I don't think so.
It would if you tried to breathe it enough times.
Well, that's true, but
Wonder Slim juice mix and pudding mix. Sandy, I don't do whey protein generally, but if I do any kind of protein shake, I drink the Alani brand, or I do soy.
There you go. Mayor McNome has come up with a solution for for Lake's quote unquote allergy.
I mean, why not? To me, it just I've never been able to eat it, and the one or two times I've accidentally gotten a little bit before, like I broke out in hives and needed an EpiPen. It just tasted like sunscreen smells. Debbie,
You're not wrong.
that's why I do soy protein. I didn't have weight loss surgery, but one of my surgeries. Intellectual, I'm literally allergic to almost every fruit. Being allergic to the sun is really weird, though. I go outside and I like immediately blister.
Yee.
I actually do the same thing if I'm wearing something really tight, like weight pressure. It's an autoimmune thing. So, you never know what EpiPens tasted like. Yeah, sod. They don't really taste like. I mean, I've never tried it, but you could pierce your tongue with one in theory. I did once have a paramedic student who pierced their thumb with it. He put his finger over the end and had the EpiPen backwards and jammed it into someone's thigh. That was an interesting report to fill out. Mm-mm.
I have questions.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen EpiPens.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get that backwards?
I don't know.
Don't know.
It's a huge ass needle. I would be shocked.
That's like a major talent. I mean,
I don't know if they thought the side the safety cap was on was where the needle would come out.
yeah.
Cap does the spring from doing. I am not a big
Perhaps.
ball of recessive genes. Unfortunately, my autoimmune issue is a lot of my autoimmune issue is a result of my cancers because they had to wipe so much of my system out with chemo and radiation. A lot didn't come back. And some of the medications I have to take can cause other forms of cancer, which is always strange to me. But hey, whatever. You do you, boo. But yeah.
I'll keep word of
Yeah,
mouth.
St. Mayor McWrench did it. My student was the only one. Link, try the barista blend or the silk extra creamy oat milk. It Croco, do I have to come beat your children? The extra creamy oat milk has the same texture and consistency the whole milk does. Yeah, intellectual. My autoimmune issues were because I had cancer when I was pregnant. It didn't know whether to attack the baby or the cancer. So it just attacked me. I don't know. But the extra creamy silk oat milk has the exact same texture as whole milk. I do not see my resident blobfish. So, most of you are my normal regulars. We're going to give everybody a few to wander themselves on in here. But if you have questions for Gun 101 or any gun-related questions, do me a favor, throw them into the chat right now, and I will star them. And then once we give people a few more minutes to wander themselves all here, we will answer gun questions. So, ask all the gun questions. It doesn't have to just be gun questions. If you have questions about whatever, ask and we will go. It will go. Which 101 is a pretty large caliber. Yeah, I mean it would be in theory. It would be. So, once people add questions for Gun 101, we'll cover that part. But let me find. Patty, talk to everybody for one moment while I pull something up.
Hi, everybody. I'm supposed to talk to you for one moment. So, what does everybody want to know? Chamber reamers. That is a Loki question. Sounds like Crocosquirrel's children are in trouble because we can't hear the Crocosquirrel, and I'm here.
Because I threatened to beat him.
No, you threatened to beat my kids. That was different.
You know what I mean.
Yes, I know.
Okay, the kids would be scared. Croco,
Not
he'd
so
just
much.
laugh at you. He'd just laugh at you.
I would take it as a personal challenge. That I'd lose.
Your children are.
Yes, I know they were being loud.
They're doing it again. Did you beat them?
It's really hard to
I
beat
want the
children
older one
daily
out
and
here to
not
listen to
have the
that.
marks show up. Croco, did you get the phone book I sent you?
Nope.
Oh, it was in with the bottle of scotch.
Oh, no, I haven't seen that either.
I figured it'd be a party pack. You know, you could drink really good scotch, and every time the kids did something, throw the phone at them.
Yeah. Oh. Hey.
Guess not.
Oh. God. Yeesh, Steve.
Do I need to make new videos for small people and post them on my channel? Is that what you're telling me?
Well, actually, I want the older one over here so he can listen in. We're just having a little problem called device. Because his usual device has been blocked up. So I'm going
Debbie,
to fix that. And
the end that has the hole in it should always be pointed away from you.
yeah.
There's an arrow on EpiPens that says this way towards thigh.
What caliber would my 6-pounder cannon be that's 3.5 inches in diameter? Yeah.
Mm,
3.5 inches. Yeah. It'd be a good
350.
one.
mm-hmm. Roughly.
Some old dude says it's an 88. Patty, you have a channel. Yeah, if you look up Patty CDECP Bespoke, I have some animal videos of animals eating. There's one of the leopard gecko, there's 2 of guinea pigs, and then there's one of my old show horse eating yellow watermelon.
Ooh.
If you really want it, I send you a link because I have your email address.
Can I not
Mostly I
spell?
make them for friends and kids and people's moms because, you know, they say, we want to see a cute animal video.
Why?
Yeah, 350 millimeters is not equal to 3.5 inches.
No, but a 50 caliber is half an inch. So it'd be like 30.05 or 50.
Mm,
Yeah, it's saying it's 88.9 millimeters
You know,
or 8.89 centimeters.
yes.
That might make more sense.
Seth Kenny. Let's see if I can do it.
Some old dude was right.
What?
It's 88.9 millimeters or 8.89 centimeters.
They probably
So
rounded
he
off
needs
89.
Yes, some old dude. You are right. I just checked with Google. Google knows it all.
Why can I not find this?
What are you looking for?
Something about the one Hannah Gutierrez read thing.
One-handed Gutierrez thing. Okay. Hey, Croco. 2 words for you, honey. Quiplash.
No, it'll only take a second more. We're gonna do Gun 101. If people have started asking questions.
Some old dude, I'm worried about you if you're to the point where you always cheat with Alexa. Does your other half know about your relationship with Alexa?
Why do your ears hurt after you shoot your large caliber weapons? Mayor, because are you wearing hearing protection?
Gnomes have very funny shaped ears.
Yeah, but my stuff are in ears generally.
It is what it is.
Intellectual. I am a fan of Brownells.
Cookie Mon Steve, you're correct. Technically, it is 1 word, but it's 2 syllables, and I'm having trouble with words tonight because I'm tired.
Yeah, either Manson Precision or Brownells are my 2 that I use.
Yeah, quiplash is a compound word.
My question is never mind. I'm not going to go there. I'm
Oh,
tired.
go there. Go for it.
How often should you ream your chamber?
How often are you reloading?
There you go. It's kind of like polishing your brass. You don't have to do it, but you can. Some
And for a
people
number of
prefer their
reasons,
brass
you
to be
might want
polished
to.
because it removes the oxidation. See, I do listen, Loki. I promise.
What?
I promise I listen.
The yelling in the background. Yeah, Cookie, sleep generally helps. But it's overrated. But yeah, intellectual, some of it has to do like with what you want to pay. Debbie, you need to let me know when that trial you want me to co-stream with you or help you with is. Between stomach stuff, weird headaches, and shoulder pain. I feel you with some of that, Debbie. I feel like I can sleep for like 3 days and still be tired. But some of that is just stress. I am glad, Debbie, I cannot eat eggplant or zucchini. Nice. Nice, Sandy. That is an interesting one. Okay, do we have any other Gun 101 questions? Because most of the people that wanted the 101 gun questions, I'm not seeing in here yet. What is going on in the background?
I have sirens going on in the background at my place.
Okay, Raz, okay, Raz. Hearing protection when you use guns, when do you need it?
Every time.
Always.
Are you
Unless it's an emergency.
are you asking me, should you wear hearing protection? I mean, I know you're part of the snark group, Raz. I don't know if you have a female in your life, but if you do, then at least you have an excuse for not hearing them and answering. If you're not wearing it, but pretty much always, and you know, there are different levels of hearing protection, and there are different intricacies about them, and a lot of it has to do with cost and caliber. I actually don't totally agree with this, Cookie Mon. When I am at the range, I use fairly expensive noise canceling ones, but I can hear people talk. It just filters out the, loud noises. OSHA does actually have a guideline for hearing stuff. Yeah, and that's why there's that lovely 3M lawsuit going on.
Yes, but
And
it's
then
actually it's a required part of the uniform. Intellectual. If you were in anything remotely resembling a combat arm, you're expected to find yourself in a combat zone. That's part of your uniform. Is earplugs.
yeah. I rarely use doubles. I have, but I wear noise canceling ones that I can still hear people talking to me. If it's just recreational, if I'm competing, or when I have very high calibers, I have in-ear monitors that I use that are really, really expensive. Yeah, Debbie, that there's an OSHA rule for that, and they have to test your hearing every year because that is actually an OSHA metric that you have to test and keep records of. And Cookie Mon is right. Good in-ears are very expensive for good ones. Where is this? He has to go to OSHA meetings? But, oh, okay. Yeah, I have Pelotors. Link does not know what reaming or polishing brass is. Okay, we can answer that. So, Link, it has to do with refurbishing, not reloading, sorry. I'm over here looking at something. So, when you do your own reloading or your hand loading, okay, there are several things you should or need to do. A chambering reamer, it's usually used. It's usually okay. I'm echoing again on someone's. Um, it cuts the chamber of the bore of a barrel. It's held stationary, and you turn the barrel, and it slowly cuts away at the material and lets you essentially chamber a different size round. And polishing your brass. So I police my own brass, and when I get done, you take the old brass, you clean it all up, and then most people use walnut. You dump everything into essentially I have a drum one that does it with some walnut powder. Croc, you're still not me. I love you, Croc, but you're not me. So you polish the brass so that it is smooth, no longer has striations from when it was done the first time. And then you can put the new primers in, you can put the new gunpowder in, and then you can press these new slugs in. Croc, you're not me. Let me do it this way. Croc, you're still not me.
Loki, I
Yeah?
deleted that in the chat. It stays here.
What?
I look at. Yeah, that's right. You're not actually looking at the chat. I retracted the message from the chat, and all it has there is that there was a message from you, but in here, it's not going to be affected. That's going to be like that until it scrolls off. Sorry.
That's okay. I just saw it because I'm looking at the StreamYard.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're not me. I didn't answer my own questions. You knew you could make new rounds. You didn't. Yeah, it's called reloading. So, Link, what you do is you police the brass as soon as you pick it up. You polish it. You clean it out. You press in new primers. You weigh out your grains of gunpowder. You put it in, and then you press the new slug in. And then you have reloaded successfully. You must be to a point. I will say you need to be careful with it. It is very easy if you do it wrong to get a split casing or to overpressurize, and you'll blow up the barrel. Firearms safety. Okay. We're gonna do the basics of firearm safety for the youngins. Are your youngins listening?
Um,
Are
no.
all youngins that need the safety lecture listening? If they are not, I'm going to give it anyways. Okay, Cookie, we'll see you soon.
I'll just make them listen to it when they decide to stop scrolling off.
Bring me something good back, Cookie. So the safety speech. A. Every gun is a loaded gun. It does not matter if you took the magazine out of it. Every gun is a lonely gun. Lonely. Loaded. The only way to make sure it is not a loaded weapon is to remove the magazine, lock back the slide, and visually examine the chamber and ensure there is no round there. If there is no magazine in your weapon and there is nothing there when you lock back the slide and look into the ejection port, you have an unloaded weapon. Until you do that, it is to be considered loaded. Do not, under any circumstance, point a gun at something you do not want to die. Do not be Alec Baldwin. If you don't intend to shoot it, don't point it at them. If you do not feel that you could shoot somebody and take a life, you should not be concealed carrying. If you are concealed carrying because you think it will intimidate somebody, but you don't think you actually have it in you to shoot somebody, do not concealed carry. Someone like me will take it away from you and use it against you. So, don't point it at things you don't want to put holes in and to kill. It needs to be empty. Zulu, you can make sure it isn't loaded by pulling the trigger until it goes bang anymore. You can dump a magazine, and in the majority of pistols, when you do that, after there are no more rounds in the magazine, the slide will actually automatically lock back in the open position. The problem with doing that is if the gun jams, like the extractor's not working and tuned properly, or there was an issue with the spring inside the magazine, it may not go bang anymore if you put your booger hook on the bang switch, and then if it becomes unjammed somehow, like that spring lets loose, it'll shoot again. So the only way to truly make sure it is not loaded is to lock back the slide and look and make sure there's no magazine there. Do not point weapons at things that we don't want to kill and we don't want to die. We don't play with guns. Assume all guns are loaded. They are not toys. Word of advice: if you do not want me to shoot you, or some other person like me, do not take that nice orange cap off your plastic POS air rifle. We will shoot you. Even if you have a bright orange thing on your POS air rifle, don't point it at people. Because people nowadays like to paint the end of their firearm orange, thinking they are going to trick somebody. So you will be treated like it is a regular and live weapon, even if it's an airsoft. Hello, Memento Mori. Do you have any Gun 101 questions you would like me to answer in this diatribe? Dad made us empty, then fire at the ground before bringing it inside. Sandy, a lot of people do that. I do know a Marine who, while deployed, the officers have their pistols on them, right? And there's a clearing barrel. And this officer fired a live round into the clearing barrel more than once because he forgot to take the magazine out.
That's about the time that some officer gets his ass kicked.
Yeah, it was a butter bar.
Yeah, well, 2 or 3 times maybe they get away with it. Not after that.
But the best part is he like jumped. What noise did you think it was going to make? Debbie, I guess I never learned because I was taught to leave my dad's gun alone. When he came home, he laid his gun belt across the bed.
The same.
Okay,
I am watching.
I am going to address this because I hear this a lot. Kids are stupid. Trust me, I have them.
I've got a couple here. and they're
You
both-
can you can teach tiny people all day not to touch a weapon. Statistically, when there is an negligent shooting, and I do not refer to it as an accidental shooting or an accidental discharge because it is always negligent, not an accident. It is generally at someone else's house. So you may have been smart enough to leave your dad's gun alone, but you can't guarantee that your child's friend is not dumb. So lock them up. Putting them 6 feet high on a shelf in a closet is not sufficient.
Some kids know how to climb. Actually, most of them do. They turn into monkeys.
Well, that 6-year-old that shot the teacher.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering what's up with that one.
Actually, more has come out about that today, but we're going to do that in its own stream. But, trigger lock, not in a safe. Brody's brother, second lieutenant, put half mag into the clearing barrel. Yep. Pretty much.
It's not a good idea, especially in a combat zone.
Sandy, I'm against this.
You will tell the enemy where you are.
I am
That's
against this because in an emergency, you don't want to be trying to assemble things. You disassemble it. Okay, great. Now if someone breaks into your house, how fast are you going to be able to put it back together?
That would depend on the shotgun, but yeah, I wouldn't want to be doing that.
I just mean on principle. I have worked several shootings where kids died. 2 of which I went to school with.
Oh,
And they were at high school age or college age when it happened. And what happened was we added alcohol.
oh yeah.
And, alcohol and guns don't mix, for one. But for 2, the other issue you run into is the stupid. The classmate put his gun down on his thigh with the barrel facing north and then tried to get a fairly stiff recoil spring. And he actually had his one hand with a thumb on the trigger while he was pushing down to try to get it to lock back. And ended up shooting.
No.
Yeah, and accidentally shot himself in the head. So,
And this, ladies and germs, is why you do not point the business end at anything you don't want dead.
right. And I mean, like, it wasn't stupid. It was, but, you always mind that if someone picks it up or they're trying to lock it back or it's being fiddly, how do you have it pointed? Are you leaning over it? Are you flagging other people? Intent follows the bullet. And I hate to break it to people. It doesn't matter if you have all the good intentions in the world. You will still be criminally liable. So, if you don't want to be criminally liable, then don't do it. Just saying. So
Yeah. Firearms in the hands of drunk people. That's a scary thing.
children, drunk people, old people, people that are at fast food restaurants and mad about things.
Oh.
Um,
She wanted her
I
free cookie.
Some people refer to that place as toxic hell for a reason.
yeah, not just there. There's an unusually large number of violent cases, especially lately, that have to do with food. So, I like Scott Reich a lot. He is a criminal defense attorney out of Colorado. And I've talked to Scott's people a few times. I may try to have Scott on. Was a Marine. Marine. He served with Marine Corps twice. One as an enlisted and then one as a JAG. He was a prosecutorial JAG and now he does criminal defense. I wholeheartedly agree with his statement that guns make everything inherently more complicated. Because as soon as there's a weapon involved, even if you are in the right, it becomes more complicated. Bye, Debbie. Feel better.
Bye, Debbie.
Night, Debbie.
So, Link, it is actually not just in Virginia. You cannot have a weapon anytime you have alcohol. You can have them in restaurants and bars, but if you consume any alcohol while you are in possession of carrying, you are going to be in a lot of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And to answer the other question I always get, posting no guns allowed unless it is a federal gun-free zone like a school means jack diddly. What it does mean, however, is if somebody happens to see that you are carrying and tells you that you need to leave the premise, you need to leave the premise immediately. Do not argue. Do not try to convince them otherwise. Do not tell them about your Second Amendment rights. Get up and leave, or you will be found guilty of not only criminal trespass, but you will also face weapons charges. So that.
So carry smart.
Yeah, and if someone says leave, leave.
Yeah.
Don't.
Pretty simple.
Don't argue. I always hate that. I'm like, can you just leave? Like, you're making paperwork. I really don't want to have to go to the magistrate. It's my day off. I would appreciate if you could just not. Colorado, the standard is, well, impaired while carrying. If you pass field sobriety, you're okay. That's at the state level. Localities differ.
See, around here, if you have had alcohol at all and you are found to be carrying, you're done. That is a per se level grade E felony.
Let me check one thing. Because I do not pretend to know everything from every state. So.
Good job sticking it out that far, Mayor Big Gnome. A lot of people can't. Most, in fact.
Mm-hmm.
There are some people I'd like to see go more than 29 minutes.
Okay. we go.
There's the context.
In the state of Colorado, you can have a bar with a firearm concealed as long as there's no signage that specifically prohibits it, or you have been told by someone that there are no guns allowed. Once you're inside the bar, if you consume any alcohol, you run the risk of committing a crime by possessing a firearm while you're intoxicated. It is a mistaken thought, if I have one beer, one shot, or whatever, I'm not intoxicated because I'm not a 0.08 or I'm not a 0.05, which would be legal intoxication level, which is what you're referring to. That is not correct. You are now thinking about the legal standard for driving, not possession of a firearm. There is no per se statutory legal standard. It is subjective, i.e. up to the police officer or whether or not you are intoxicated. So, even in Colorado, there is not a hard and fast number. You can be charged. And that is the state law I read it from. Yeah, an armed society is a polite society. Some of the time. Some of the time it just ends up with people trying to get into dick measuring contests with each other. Which is what I find most of the time with it. Which drives me crazy. I'm always like, why? Why are we doing this?
Yeah, I don't think we can write that much Clorox in the gene pool.
There's not enough Clorox in our gene pool anymore. Like, we need to Bioshock that thing.
Ooh.
I'm just saying, you gotta Bioshock it. What other gun questions do we have? Let's see, I don't see it. We're missing our blobfish and our people that wanted the gun 101. They haven't returned back. The ones that specifically asked for the things.
That's okay. They can still do replay crew.
Oh yeah,
She was working on her finals.
She finished it
earlier.
Yeah, she finished it earlier.
She finished. She may be like passed out sleeping after final.
Or she may be
eating, partying, whatever.
Oh, it's only
Yeah,
7
I'm
p.m.
not
here, so yeah, probably not.
Well, it's 10 here. So, that. Bioshock is my game.
Yes, there is actually a series of games.
Intellectual. I'll update people I know on that. Maybe you're confusing your county enforcement. No, intellectual, you don't need to apologize in any way, shape, and or form. I do not know every state. That's why I looked it up. You know.
I found her.
That's what,
She's on her way.
Oh, good.
But yeah, no, intellectual. Don't ever. I mean, that's one of the tenets of this channel, and you guys have heard me say it enough times that I welcome the majority of questions, even if they seem obvious to me, or you think you're gonna sound, yay, Amanda, or you think you're gonna sound dumb or whatever. Please ask. Everybody starts somewhere. You can't be expected to know all the laws, nor can you be expected to keep up with every change to them. And there's so much false information on places like YouTube from our YouTube geniuses and the people that have PhDs from Google University. So, I like to fact check myself too. But, yes, any amount of alcohol, it is police officers' discretion.
If the doesn't like you're still screwed.
Yes, if
So
you had...
If a police officer has had a bad day, you're in trouble.
And you have consumed any alcohol and are above 0.0, Even if you are not legally impaired, they can charge you. So, in the words of Mr. Scott Reich, don't do it. It makes everything more complicated. Everything. Amanda, you are one of my people that asked the question. You are one of the people I am doing this for. Ask me your questions about newbie gun things. Ask away, and I shall answer. Link. What gun would I recommend for someone who just wants for home defense? Okay, Link, are we discussing style, caliber? You're going to narrow that down a tiny bit for me. Are you asking just in general? In general, I recommend a shotgun for self-defense at home.
You don't ask questions.
If you are tired
Got the in case whiplash.
and in bed,
No,
if you are tired, you're in bed, you're whatever, someone breaks into your house, it is much easier to grab a shotgun and shoot at the door. And put a
Tasteful
whole,
technical, Tom.
Thomas.
hold on, I'll get Thomas in a second. And it is much easier to shoot at the door, and you are much less likely to punch through walls and cause collateral damage. So I generally say shotguns for self-defense at home. I do not personally, I mean, I do. I have a Benelli.
Hey, Maddie.
Hey, Maddie, we'll
How's
get
my
to that.
Maddie Graham tonight?
I'm a Benelli person, but Benellis tend to be very expensive. But a shotgun will do just fine for home self-defense. And Maddie's right. Middle of the door and shoot. And then you're not worried about punching through things as much. G19 and a renewed blade. I do not like red dot sights. We've been through that. But to each his own. But in general, I go with, especially for very, very new people, the best is a shotgun. The other reason I recommend the shotgun is because you don't need to be accurate. If you have a pistol, when you're shaking, can you get the safety up? Where are you pointing? I've watched police officers mag dump hundreds of rounds and not hit a person once. Because being a quarter of an inch off at 10 yards becomes not even close to what you're trying to hit at, 25. So it's much easier with a shotgun to do damage while you get your bearing or if you're shaking.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. And I'm scrolling through some of the ones you starred for me.
Well, I have a verbal question over here.
Sure. Okay, verbal question, child. Let's go. Which child is this? Identify yourself.
what if you were to accidentally let off a bullet by accident? Like, you didn't know it was loaded, nothing. And then somebody just comes around and shot you and you shoot. What happens then?
I'm confused. Are you asking?
He's asking about accidental discharges.
There's no thing as an accident discharge.
Oh,
If you put in the hole, whether you think there is a round in it or not, that is negligent, not accidental.
okay.
An accident would imply that you did not pull the trigger. So it is
Okay.
always negligent.
Okay. That was
And Yeah, and you all should always assume all guns are loaded.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yes,
Or
it does.
let's say, or are you also asking me what happens if something happens and you accidentally shoot somebody? Or you were just curious about why I said it wasn't an accident?
I
Think about it, and Dad can interrupt me again, okay?
okay.
Okay.
Or
Amanda,
he was here and trying to get my attention for it. So
that's fine. Amanda, the difference between automatic and semi-automatic. Okay, one. The difference between automatic and semi-automatic is the law. It is not legal in the United States for a civilian to own an automatic weapon. If you alter your weapon to be an automatic weapon, you will run afoul of the ATF very quickly, and you will find yourself in more trouble than you know what to do with. But in general, the difference is a semi-automatic weapon, you fire one shot every time you pull the trigger. An automatic weapon fires in, usually military ones, in 3-round bursts, but it's kind of like playing a video game that if you pull the trigger and hold it down in an automatic weapon, it will just go and cycle through and dump all your ammunition. Semi-automatic requires a pull of the trigger separately for every round. 2, how do you properly store a gun? I know you have to keep ammo in a safe, but do you just keep it in a drawer? You do not need to keep ammo in a safe. I hate to break it to not you, but some people, ammunition is more dangerous to lick than it is to leave on your dresser. It's lead. Everybody laughs at that, but I'm like, lead.
It's the truth.
It's literally lead. But
unless you've got jacketed rounds, and then you're talking usually about copper.
they're actually still lead involved, even in a jacketed round. So you can still give someone negligible lead exposure. How do you properly store a gun? If you are storing the gun for home self-defense, there are several ways to do it. I personally have a biometric safe that I can reach from my bed, because I'm not running down 2 flights of stairs and screwing with my giant 7-foot-tall Mosler safe to get into it if you broke into my house. If we are discussing storage of like all the other weapons I own, all weapons should be stored unloaded and in a safe, out of reach and out of access, not just of your children, but your children, friends of your children, and random people. There have been cases, and I actually got to testify as an expert witness in one, where somebody broke into a house, took a pistol, shot someone else, and the homeowner was charged.
Because it was his gun.
His gun not properly stored. So what you need to do is you do not store weapons with rounds in a magazine. And people ask me why. The way magazines work, and I would do it on camera, but YouTube yells at me and will take my channel away. The way a magazine works is when you put the bullets in, they compress a spring. If that spring stays compressed for an extended period of time, which it will if you have a loaded magazine, you run the risk of damaging the spring and increasing the risk that your weapon misfires. So I keep them separate, and I keep them generally both in safes, but I do have a small biometric safe that is bolted to part of my nightstand. So if I need to, I can access a weapon at night without having to run downstairs to my big safe.
And not for nothing, another thing you don't want to do is overload the magazine. Those things have a capacity for a reason, and if you try and put more in there, even if you can get them to stay, and on some occasions you can, you're going to destroy that spring a whole lot faster.
Yeah. So it's generally not a good idea to store full magazines unless, you're using them. And I personally empty out my magazines and rotate them because I have spare magazines. And I rotate them, and I will empty out one magazine and put it in my safe. And then, when I clean guns next week, I'll reload that magazine, and the one I had the bullets in, I'll take the bullets out of that one. So, ammunition, in theory, yeah, you can keep it in your nightstand. But you shouldn't keep them in a location where somebody can get both of them unless it is a gun safe. My God, I'm not of the mind that I need to have my ammunition in one safe, my guns in another. But you don't want to store loaded magazines. And if you don't want things just rattling around. The other thing you don't want to do is keep ammunition in your car, because extreme temperature is bad. So, no, you don't have to keep the ammo in a safe. The gun should be in the safe. But properly storing it again. If it's for self-defense and home defense, don't store it in a safe that you're going to have to fiddle around. I can tell you, you will lose all fine motor skill when your adrenaline's going. I hope that answered those. Let's see. Link said wasn't considering that, thinking pistol. You guess that works. Yeah, Link, it is easier. Shotguns are easier. If you are asking me how to choose the best self-defense gun, that would be a pistol for home. That is a subjective question. That is what you are most comfortable with, both caliber, cost, and operation-wise. I am the first to admit the pistols that I daily carry or that I have in my biometric next to the bed do not have safeties. Because the last thing you want to do is point the gun at somebody, forget to take the safety off, and then it doesn't work. Because you will panic in bad situations. Let's see. Some of your ammo in your nightstand drawer, vast majority is in the ammo vault. Yeah. And like I said, Mayor, there's nothing wrong with having some of it in your nightstand. But it rolling around in there, that's the other thing you have to remember. If you look at the head spacing in a bullet, so if I take a bullet and you measure it, there's a gap, which is called the head spacing, between the gunpowder and the metal slug. If you're noticing your rounds are getting shorter and shorter, that's because that metal slug's being pushed into the casing and compressing things, which can cause misfires or failure to fires. If you have bullets rolling around in your nightstand drawer, there is a higher risk that from repeatedly bouncing off of things that you will shorten the headspace. And then you will have issues because your ammunition will not be reliable when you need it to be.
These things come in boxes for a reason.
Yes, we
Let's
already
check
covered this. Do not pull the trigger unless you want to kill whatever it is. Let's see. Watch placement on the shoulder, even in. Okay. What Maddie is talking about is called the pocket. You don't ever want the butt stock of a gun up against the head of the humerus or against your collarbone. You actually, if you stand there and you put your hands on your hips and roll your shoulders forward a little bit, you will find on your chest, kind of near your armpit, under your collarbone, there's this kind of like indent pocket. That's where it goes. It's where the buttstock goes. And then you don't break your collarbone or dislocate your shoulder.
Failure to do this will cause much pain.
Mm-hmm.
And aggravate the hell out of your entire unit.
Well, that, but people ask me all the time, well, how do you fire a 50 cal? How does it not hurt you? How don't you break things? A, I've been doing it a long time. But B, if you put it in, if you've got the butt stock in the pocket, you're not going to break bones. If you fire too many rounds, you may be bruised, but you're not going to break bones. No, Thomas, if you're referring to loaded on alcohol, I assume everyone
Or
is.
unacceptable substances.
If we are discussing loaded as in like loaded for bear or gun, I assume everybody everywhere has a gun, even though I know otherwise, because you would rather assume everybody is armed than assumed no one is armed. Trust me, it is a better way to go through life. Because I can tell you, and I have done it on stream, and people have seen me on stream dressed this way. I can wear yoga pants, leggings, whatever, jeggings, a t-shirt, and a hoodie that's fairly fitted, and be concealing 2 full-size guns, multiple magazines, 2 knives, a cell phone, and nobody could tell. If you're really good at carrying and you learn how to carry concealed appropriately, you won't be able to tell. No, legally, you do. No, legally, you do not have to have it separated from the gun. The only time you legally need to keep it separated from the gun is when you are transporting it either via air or car, or if you do not have a concealed carry permit. And that's state dependent. In order to fly with a gun, it must be in a container that has 2 locks. It must be a hard side container that locks. You must have keyed locks. I usually just say master locks, not like the cheap TSA ones that any key can open. While it is locked, you may not be able to get your fingers inside with it open. So the way they test it is you have your 2 padlocks on there. They'll try to unlock it, and if they can get that open like a 1/4 of an inch and stick their hand in there, it's not adequately secured for the purpose of travel. Most states, if you do not have a concealed carry permit, you're taking to the range or to hunt or to whatever, you need to have the ammunition stored separately from the firearm. But that is only for transport. That is not at home. Those are the only times you need them separated.
Hey, baby. What you doing?
Maddie people are in love with your... I think Maddie's in love with your accent, Patty.
Yeah, he has been. He's
Cook,
been flirting with me for a while. That's okay.
I
Blanche
know.
is just trying to
Man,
steal a drink of my water.
drink them separate unless it's a full. And I say when I talk about gun law, I am talking about U.S. specific. Um, if you have questions about Canadian gun law, you can either ask Runkle of the Bailey, or just specify for me that you want a Canadian answer, and I can give you one. I generally just speak in terms of the U.S. Sod, is that reckless endangerment? Is what reckless endangerment? When you were a kid, you get kids to make soldiers by melting lead in your oven and casting them for fun. Yeah, that's reckless. Somebody's going to end up being the Mad Hatter over there. Yeah, heat destroys ammo. So does moisture. And yeah, Maddie's right. If you have ammunition in your vehicle in the middle of summer, it can get hot enough that it will set off the ammunition. The other thing you have to keep in mind when storing things like ammunition and deciding where you're going to store it is, if you have a house fire, please tell us firemen that you have ammunition. Pretty please. I don't want to be walking through your bedroom searching to make sure there's no people in there and then get shut because the room was hot enough to set off the ammunition you had in your nightstand. Which has happened. So you do have to be careful. Heat, moisture. If the ammunition gets moisture in it, it won't fire and you'll have issues. One of the biggest things with guns, ammunition, self-defense, all of the things is it should be muscle memory. You should be so practiced with your weapon that you, even half asleep and shaking, can take the safety off, point it, and operate it in a way that you need to, because you are not going to be sitting there, happy, calm, and having fun if somebody has just broken into your house and is threatening your life. So there's an element of can you act under stress with that weapon that you need to take into account, especially with training with that weapon. Because if you don't, when you're under stress and you need it, it will not work because you will forget something. Maddie, stop hitting on her. She's mine first.
Don't forget Opal.
We're sharing him. We already came. Stay out of this, Croco. Patty and I already talked about our sharing of Opal.
You can share Maddie too. I'm sure he'd enjoy that.
Okay, as long as you're cool with it, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm cool with it. It's not a problem. Maddie lives in the desert, Opal lives in the freaking cold north, It's best of both worlds. Go to Arizona in the winter and hang out in Canada in the summer. Hey. See, Maddie, we already got this figured out.
Hold on.
They come for the snark, they stay for the voice.
I know. Is that reckless endangerment? Yeah, they were charged with careless and negligence because someone broke in and stole their gun and used it in the commission of a crime. So, yeah. May arrange my ammo vaults to signs. There's a fire. It's going to protect firefighters. They are fire rated. Safes are fire rated. For how long is the bigger issue?
Wooden side tables or not.
I will also point out, people like me hate ourselves as firemen because people like me who reload generally have a fair quantity of gunpowder sitting around.
Which makes watching the firemen put out the fire all that more entertaining. Not.
Well, funny you mention that, because I'd have to put out the fire at my own house.
Yeah, well, we don't want you to have to ever do that ever.
I set a washing machine full of water on fire once.
Yeah, Mandy, talk to Opal about the healthcare system in Canada. He's not happy with it.
Nobody is. Hold on. Yeah, Amanda, I would not choose a country based off of the healthcare. And if you're going to do that, I can think of better countries than Canada. I have friends that live in Canada. One of my good friends he's actually a YouTuber. Dr. Chris Rayner, also known as Not Your Everyday Ortho. He's an orthopedic surgeon in Canada. And, in talking with Chris about stuff, I don't want to live in Canada. And he agrees that if you have serious health issues, yes, it's cheaper because of that. But just like in England and with the NHS, the waits that you face if you don't have private health insurance and are using the Canadian benefits and going, not, with the governmental system, not private, it can take years to get an appointment.
Mm-hmm.
So there are better options.
And that's just that, and that's just them. Well, we'll not talk about the level of taxes involved.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like when the healthcare is top notch, the waiting list is not. You'll get great healthcare. You're gonna wait. Amanda, if anybody knows about serious health issues, trust me, it's me. And I would not move to Canada.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
There you go. So you're actually completely stuck with the state system, and yeah, single payer healthcare. Yeah, you're still paying for it. You're just doing it by means of tax rates up to upwards of 35-40% for even the smallest of taxpayers. The richest ones, they hide their money elsewhere because numbers can get really stupid.
Cookie Man, I don't know how true that totally is in all the provinces, because I know Chris sees patients that have that aren't using Canadian healthcare. There are certain services, I think, or certain weights or specialties and things. But there are ups and downs to every country's healthcare. You have to look at the good and the bad. And, Cookie Man lives there, so he would know more than I do in regards to that. But yes, elected things they deem as elective, and what is deemed as elective in some cases is insane. You could wait years.
And then if something like, oh, I don't know, coof happens, you lose your appointments and you have to make them again with the similar wait times.
Yeah. So, yeah, that it's insanity. Israel's actually got really good health care.
Yeah, but they're a very exclusive club.
No, they're not.
No?
No. Israel actually has a huge medical tourism. I can hear myself again. Well, your offspring is now so jealous, Loki. He watches Chris Doctor Explains vids often. So, Maddie, if you are ever watching one of Chris's premieres and you see Stephanie with purple hair talking to him in the chat back and forth, that's my personal handle, and Chris and I talking. And Chris has a video coming out. If you watch the premiere from his video about contortionism, we had a discussion about Ehlers-Danlos, which I have. But Dr. Rayner and I have a couple collaborations involved in tactical medicine and some other things coming out. Yeah, Chris Rayner's awesome. He's the nicest guy. I love Chris. And when he does gun things, like when he debunked the Biden 9mm blowing lungs out, I usually get a phone call from Chris. And his kid, his son, his wife used to do it. His son's the one that edits his stuff now. So, yeah, Chris is just as nice in person as he is on screen. He really does not change. I even use the people that talk about Dr. Chris. So since I do OSHA stuff, I use his Human 2.0 programs. And, at different job sites or for different things, he has helped me with writing his Human 2.0 stuff for it. Cookie Mon, I'm not sure because I'm not a 9mm kind of girl. I did once accidentally shoot a squirrel with a 50 cal, and the only thing we found was a dime-sized clump of fur.
And that would be very, very rude to do to my cousins. Knock it off.
So, yeah. Amanda, I don't know what yours are, and I'm not going to pry, but I will tell you I have antiphospholipid antibody syndrome, which is a clotting issue, and I have Ehlers-Danlos, and I have had cancer several times, and I have some other health issues that are very serious, and yeah, I would not want to be. Amanda, message me. I can give you names of docs that are really good at figuring out really weird things. And in all on Factor 5 laden. So you have factor 5 laden with a history of clots. There are other things that can be problematic. Yeah, hold on. Here you go, Amanda. What do I recommend? Iron sights and handgun or some other kind. So again, some has to do with what you're comfortable with. Some has to do with some has to do with what you're comfortable with. Some has to do with your intended purpose for it. I generally just go with tritium night sights on a lot of my stuff. I don't like red dot sights that you end up with bad habits. I use tritium night sights. I do have 1 or 2 weapons that have a hollow sight, and I don't like them. But I did not buy them. They were given to me for review. So, for a handgun sod, it depends on what you're using it for. You have to remember the profile of your sight is going to affect how you carry it and what you do with it. And it's going to mess with the accuracy. Some sights are more sensitive than others. So if you pocket carry or if you keep it in a range bag or things that get knocked around, red dot sights are fairly easy to throw out of. I say throw out of sight, but it's not the best way to phrase it. To make them inaccurate. Because you end up adjusting it essentially. I go with the tritium night sights that I press in and then I just adjust them on my handguns, unless it's something for competition, and then you use a hollow sight. You can use a red dot, but then you have issues with the holstering of. So if you tell me what your goal is with the sight, I with the weapon for the thing, I can tell you what I think sight-wise you should use for it, but it's not a blanket answer. Let's see, what's Cookie saying here? I like tritium sights. Beware progressive your sight picture can require. Short range, it doesn't make a huge difference. You are correct. But there are tritium sights that are not affected by progressives. Croc, I think this is for you.
Both can be maimed by a well-placed round. I know you have another answer. Yeah. I think that was actually yours, Loki.
It's not the sight that's the issue. It's where your focus point is. Yes and no, Cookie. Because you can adjust it based off of how your progressives are. And there's different profiles of tritium ones and ways to compensate. But the reality of it all is you put whatever sight on that gun makes you most comfortable.
And nice, Sandy.
Right, Sandy?
Night, Sandy.
You put whatever sight on it you are most comfortable with and that you feel that you are most accurate with. Even if it's a sight I don't like or a pistol I don't like, if you like it, that's awesome. You are the one carrying it, and that is the most important thing. Oh, hold on. Okay, sorry, I was choking. Yeah, it's about trying different things that work for you. Everybody's different. There are things I love that some people hate. It's what does best for you. And whatever works best for you, I am supportive of. And if you tell me I need a red dot sight for this weapon, what is the best one? I will find you the best red dot sight for that weapon. If you ask me what my preference for a sight on a weapon would be, it would not be the red dot. But that doesn't mean I can't critique the different red dots. You know, it doesn't mean just because I don't like something doesn't mean I can't objectively review it. They can be adjusted, Sod. All tritium sites can be adjusted. Sometimes it's just slightly harder. But, I mean, you can leave factory sites on. It doesn't really matter. You are not me in the regard of... I mean, you might be, and I might have just missed this on, like, the Lair, you know, singles questionnaire. You know, that I don't think you're competing with it. I mean, again, I could be wrong and miss that on our Lair night singles night questionnaires, but you know, I am not shooting at 15 yards. The average person... Night Link, we'll be back tomorrow.
Good night, Link.
Good night, Link. Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. We have so much stuff to cover. But yeah, definitely finish the rest on replay, crew. Good night, sweets. You know, I'm shooting at a much longer distance than most people. Even pistol compared to rifle. I am also a lot pickier about certain things. And you know, for the average person, iron sights are fine. You know, and because in all honesty, if you point at center mass from your center mass, you're gonna hit the truck. You're probably gonna hit them. Most shootings are within, you know, 15 yards. In reality. If you're having trouble aiming against your weapon, do like I have told the offspring, put it in the middle of the chest and pull. So, Maddie, you should always aim center mass. Everybody's obsession with headshots is stupid.
It's a much smaller target, and you are much more likely to miss and maybe hurt somebody you weren't intending to. And since intent follows the bullet, if that guy is injured or killed, you're on the hook for it. Don't do that.
Right. So, like I said, you're shooting in general. You're going to be shooting at a very close range. You don't really need to worry about the sight so much in those situations because you're not precision shooting.
Well,
Aim
actually,
towards
if I may,
aim towards center mass, pull the trigger. And even if it's just you two in a room and you miss, I can tell you, people go run. Most people do not appreciate being shot at.
I've never appreciated being shot at. But again, if you're at 15 yards, you've got time to look down the sights. You're not defending yourself at that point.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. You don't need, like Cookie Man says here. Okay, to get to hit somewhere, not necessarily. Yeah, getting shot hurts, regardless. So, aim for the center mass. Yep. Mayor's right. You aim right at the center of the torso. And, you'll be good. Hey, Cookie Man, if we're going to go with, like, the reality of 5 yards, yeah, but I can also, at not much less than 5 yards, just take my Desert Eagle and smack you upside the head with it that close. Literally. You need to expend a bullet. Let me just smack you with this really heavy pistol. It'll end well, trust me.
It'll end a lot better if you fired it.
I have one question.
Is that an Apple Rose or a Blanche?
That's an Alex.
Oh, I thought I heard Patty talking to a puppy.
No, I'm going to check this question before I let him have mine.
Yeah, I mean, like, good job, McWrench. But yeah, you aim center mass, and then it goes bye-bye. And in general, when you shoot at somebody, they run. Very few people, when they get shot at, are going to stand there and be like, hey. Patty, you think someone's giving you their phone?
He actually has a coherent and topical question for right now. So
let's go.
If you were to shoot someone at center mass, what would happen?
Well, it depends on what caliber weapon you're using. So, if I shoot you center mass,
right about there.
Okay.
I will, with a 45, which is generally what I carry, I am going to put a very, very large hole in your heart, and you are going to be dead before you hit the ground.
Okay.
If you're using something like a 9mm, depending on the bone you hit center mass, it's probably going to ricochet around in the middle and turn things into mush. When you shoot anything, you need to remember that there are two things that happen. One is called the permanent wound track. The other one is your temporary wound track. So the permanent wound track is the hole that is still going to be there later.
Okay.
The temporary wound track is, if you look at like ballistics gel or things, the pressure wave will open it and you'll have this big cavity. But once that pressure wave passes, that temporary wound track is now closed again. So if you have a solid organ, like your, and it is in the way temporary wound track, to bleed a whole lot because it's a solid organ,
Okay.
but it's not going to have a hole in it.
Okay. That's all I
That's
had
okay.
questions for.
Yeah, Thomas, go for that one. So that's Amanda. I think you're talking about me earlier, possibly. That is complete and utter. Okay, aftermarket barrels, 1,000% do. What people are referring to is what people are referring to is the rifling on the slug. So if I swap out a barrel, it is going to have different rifling characteristics than the standard barrel that was on it. So then if I go swap the barrel back, they won't match. But what they are talking about, if you heard that, is the shell casing. Because the shell casing never goes down the barrel. What you will see is breech face markings, the ejector marking, and the firing pin impression. And that can be traced because that's when you look at the casings, you can compare those things. If you have the slug, you can compare the slugs, but changing the barrel only changes the markings on the slug. Does that make sense, Amanda? Yes, Sod, we are discussing. We're discussing, principles of science. Okay, perhaps completely misunderstanding how your tritium sights mount. If I take the gun to my gunsmith to mount them, and then can't adjust them, I will let you know. Okay, so Sod, here's the thing. You have to press the sights in, which may be where your confusion is. So, the front sight is not going to be adjustable generally. It is pressed in and it is in the center. You pull the rear sight and then you have to press in the tritium night sights. Now, when you do that, you can adjust them. You take a really tiny little screwdriver and a tiny, tiny little hammer generally, and you tap them or you turn it, depending on the tritium night sight. And it will move very slightly left and right, so you can adjust them. They are not as adjustable as a hollow sight or a red dot, but they are 100% adjustable. There is no sight that cannot be adjusted to some degree. Someone did ask me the other night, and I don't think I ever answered it. Someone the other night asked,
Patty, that's still you echoing.
what?
It's
Oh,
Patty's,
still Patty.
Patty's echoing. I was muted, and I've been testing it off and on.
Yeah, Zulu has extremely tiny hex screws on his. So yeah, Sod, you can adjust them. But they have to be pressed in. Let's see. Okay, Kirk, go ahead and pull the other comments now that they're in the private. So yeah, they can be adjusted. You just have to press them in. It's a lot harder to get them in and out.
Yeah, he just asked me to put those in the private chat. I have no idea what they're for.
Right, but what I'm saying is you can remove the comments from the regular chat that have those numbers.
Oh, okay.
Night, Cookie.
You guys, you don't know what that is.
I do.
I know exactly what it is.
Oh, nope, Maddie got him already.
I do. That was Croc that said that, not me.
Yeah, Crocs can sometimes be a little slow on the uptake.
Yeah. Okay.
He doesn't understand sarcasm all the time.
The sarcasm font was not on?
No, it was not.
Somebody the other night asked me about citing things in. And someone asked me if it is really necessary to be at a range that has like 500 yards. It's an arc. Bullets travel in an arc. So as long as they are corresponding distances, you can sight in at the shorter distance. And it will be just fine at the farther distance because it's going in an arc. Yeah. So, like Sod says, hydrodynamic shock, that's what I was referring to with the temporary cavitation. When you have temporary and permanent wound tracks. And if there is a solid organ, such as the liver, in line with your temporary wound track, you will be sad. You will be very, very sad. Because you're not going to fix that. It's easier to deal with the hole through something than essentially the blunt force trauma that will turn solid organs to jello thanks to physics. Yeah, they mount with a screw. They're not pressed inside. There's a tiny hex screw you can adjust it with. The majority of tritium sites are pressed in, though. But there's ones that don't. That mount with a screw. And then it's a tiny, tiny hex screw to adjust it. But it's whatever you are most comfortable with. Mayor Wrench, just make sure you're using like the good pink double bubble version and not that icky Yipes fruit straight gum from the 90s that lost its flavor in like
15 seconds.
3 seconds. Just make sure you're using like the expensive double bubble or bazooka bubble gum so it stays on there better. Patty, there's a question for you. Okay, there we go.
Yes, ma'am.
Never mind the
Hey.
bespoke thing. I was just joking.
Yeah, I took it off. Apple
I
was
know.
guarding me from things that go bump in the night.
Oh, you're using Hubba Bubba? Okay, Wrench. Don't use grape though. Use the other one. You lost the mounting screws. Zulu, do I need to send you some? Just out of curiosity? I mean, I'll help you out there. Unless you're having fun doing it the hard way.
Oh, wow.
What?
Well, if that's what makes him happy, I suppose.
I'm just remembering an entire discussion about bubblegum sites.
Apple Rose. Out.
You'll be nice to my Apple Rose.
She's warning the world that they better not come in my house or she's going to bite them. Okay, she's going to kill them with cuteness.
I was going to say, that sweet baby is not scaring anybody.
I don't know.
I know
That
she's not
Terrier
scaring
actually
anybody.
does intimidate a couple people here.
No, but have you, the little spaniel with the wavy ears and the floof.
She got the little, well, yeah, the worst thing she's going to do is curl up in your lap and headbutt you to death.
No, the worst thing she's going to do is I'm going to find her in bed with my small person watching
Sleeping
TV,
on her
eating
head.
snacks.
Sharing the snacks, no less.
Yeah, that's the problem. My little one will.
She would like the Golden Grams.
No, my little one found Oreos for dogs.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, they have a chocolate. Well, it's carob, technically, one. And then they have like a peanut butter version. I don't know why she got them, but she found them. Yeah, Zulu, I can't do cinnamon. I detest Fireball. Or like Red Hot Candy or any of that, so. I can't do cinnamon gum.
Well, Mary McGnome's legs are falling asleep.
Oh, no, we can't have that.
So everybody stand up.
Do the stretch.
Stretch.
Everybody stretch. Everybody do their
Cookie
stuff.
Mon Steve. My crazy
Cookie Mon
boss shot a
Steve's-
squirrel in a
He went to
butt
bed.
with a 9mm. There was no squirrel left. It was gone.
No, we were discussing that I might have accidentally done it with a 50 cal.
Yeah, that would be even less pieces of squirrel left.
No, that's
Dime-sized piece of fur.
Fur.
That was it.
I just had this great image of the squirrel singing in a
Oh,
tree and then
I think he
snuck in
did
there.
fall out of the chair this time.
Nope. Dumped a couple hard drives on the floor. That would have ended very badly.
Oh, okay.
I got them.
Mary
I got them.
McGnomes,
They're okay. Mostly.
I raise you a 50-pound standard poodle.
Mayor Wrench, I have not been able. I can do like apple pie cinnamon, but I can't. Yeah, like Fireball and stuff. No.
Fireball's just mean with a house with the amount of cinnamon in it.
Did you know it's actually not all whiskey?
Oh, that doesn't surprise me.
No, some of it's not whiskey at all.
Nope.
Have you not
Really?
heard about this controversy?
Yeah, it's a
Hold
malt
on.
liquor. It's like a. Oh, okay, I'll shut up. I know what it's not.
I'm gonna show. I'm gonna show. Hold on.
You're gonna show? You're gonna show?
He knows what I'm talking about. Hold on.
Zulu, I've got a guy I work with that puts cinnamon in his chili.
That's actually not that uncommon, especially things that are like moles.
Yeah, well, he read the recipe wrong, and instead of putting in the appropriate amount, he put like 10 times the appropriate amount.
Okay,
Yikes.
well, wait. I'm gonna show you the fireball thing, and then remind me to tell you about soy milk.
I don't like the taste of soy milk.
Well, this won't matter. Ta-da! Look. Many bottles of Fireball don't actually contain whiskey. They're being sued. The 99-cent mini bottles of Fireball Cinnamon don't contain whiskey. There's a class action suit. Unlike the original, it is a malt-based, wine-based alcoholic beverage. Fireball Cinnamon is flavored to taste like whiskey without having it. And they show.
So, good
So
thing I
there's
don't like Fireball.
there's a class action suit because, as you can see, they're identical to Fireball Cinnamon, except
Yeah,
they don't
it's
say
not whiskey.
whiskey. Mhm.
Yeah, I like my whiskey to come in bottles that are commemorative, and you buy the bottle and it gets filled at the distillery with complimentary booze. That's how I like my whiskey.
I may be on the waiting list for an entire barrel of Jack Daniels.
Ooh.
It's a good thing that I love you, my baby sister.
I literally bought an entire barrel.
Yeah, they advertise that.
They sell it at Costco.
Yeah, they do it at the distillery too. You
I
can
know.
take a whole barrel home.
You actually can't. They
Well, you
sell
have to
them
buy the
there.
barrel.
No. They sell them, but you have to put your name on the waiting list.
Yeah,
You don't get to take it home the same day.
darn it.
I tried.
It's going to kill both of you because neither of you could have eaten it. I made a really good single barrel bourbon pecan cheesecake once. It cost like
How would
$100
that
to make
kill
one
me?
cheesecake because of the lactose.
I'm lactose intolerant. I'll take Lactaid. I don't care.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
I'll make it for you, but the tree nuts will kill a squirrel.
Oh yeah.
It's not my fault we found the only squirrel that's allergic to nuts.
I know, right?
It was really good. I got marriage proposals off that one from married men.
I make a really good bourbon pecan pie. And I have the recipe for the Olive Garden black tie chocolate mousse cake.
Maddie wants me to make him a cheesecake.
Sod. Woohoo. See, Sod, I told you.
Hey, look, marriage proposals. Maddie, I also get marriage proposal for my strawberry lemonade cheesecake and my white chocolate raspberry. So, yeah.
I get marriage proposals from Patty because I have 3 ovens and a chef's kitchen.
Yes. Yes, we all just need to move to Loki's and just do all the things there.
Yeah, guns and baked goods. See, Sod, I told you.
Yeah, but I can also grill pretty good.
I have a Traeger, a green egg, and then a Swiss brand grill.
Okay, well, I can make moo chicken for the small child, fish for you, and we'll figure out what squirrel eats. I think he'll pretty much eat anything we give him.
Almost, yeah.
Just make him a peanut butter and jelly. He'll be fine.
No, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good on a carnivore regimen.
Sounds like he's up for the moo chicken and the chicken.
Mayor Wrench, the Traeger is worth every penny.
Yeah, one of my friends has a Traeger and it is amazing. She uses that thing all the time.
Yeah, I do it too. Traeger, definitely worth it. See, Sod? There is a hex key.
Between that and the smoker, it's like heaven.
Yeah.
We're in March. 14 weeks. 14 weeks, and I get to hang out with my college bestie for 6 weeks.
Yeah,
Don't worry,
Mayor.
I will have Wi-Fi.
What's the office going to do without you, Patton?
Wait, where?
I actually have to
Patty,
take the office with me. I still have to work.
Patty, where are you going? Are you going to West Virginia?
No, I'm going to northern Minnesota, about 30 minutes south of International Falls.
Okay, we'll give Opal Dragon a hug for me.
Opal Dragon is 2.5 days drive from there, so Croco
You're
already
still
mapped it
close,
out for us.
You're
Yeah,
still
we had that
almost there.
We had that conversation already.
As everybody just shows up at Opal's house.
That, you know what? He would die if we all showed up at his house. He'd be like, "What are you doing here? Why are there vehicles in the yard?
If
Are you
you
gonna
and
take
I,
Grandma shopping?"
like, if you and I showed up together, I don't think Opal would know what to do.
If you and I showed up together, first thing he'd probably do is put on a shirt
Are
Yeah.
you sure about that?
and introduce us to Mom.
See,
yes,
if you don't want him, actually, ladies, if you don't want him to bolt, you bring me along. then he might think that you'd be willing to behave.
he knows I don't behave. He'd be fine. Moms
He
love
knows
me.
I don't behave either.
Moms
The problem
love me.
is if we do that, Maddie's going to get jealous, and then I'm going to have a world war between Arizona and Canada on my hands.
Yeah.
And then my West Virginia biker friend will get upset because, he didn't get involved.
He can go stay with Odie.
We can go get Odie.
Odie lives
But I gotta
like
get
10
Rodney.
minutes away from me, and Odie's always at my house.
Yeah, well, if I'm coming to your house, Rodney's only an hour and a half down the road. I'm definitely going to go get him.
Yeah, Odie's always here, especially if I'm cooking. If you want fun,
Maddie thinks there's gonna be scraps left.
No, they probably wouldn't.
Yeah.
Although I like my moot chicken ground.
You like your moo chicken ground?
Ground. Yes.
Dude, that ribeye I made tonight, you could cut it with a fork. There was no grinding to it. It melted. It was like
No, the usual, but the usual rule of thumb for moo chicken is, well, yeah, ground.
Yeah, Mayor Wrench, you're always welcome. Yeah,
Mayor Wrench, we will come get you.
Yeah, Zulu, a Traeger, it is a smoker that uses pellets, but it's a digitally controlled grill and smoker.
They're fun.
And you can smoke things for like days in it. And you don't even have to go tend to it. Yeah.
Yeah, you just have to make sure it's full of pellets and you stick the meat in and set the temperature and go, "Thank you.
I'll see you in 10 hours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's one thing I love about going to Jenny's is because I can set that up first thing in the morning before I start working, and they get home about 5 o'clock at night after they've worked all day, and dinner's pretty much ready. And I do a lot of the farm tours while I'm up there. So basically, I walk out to the pasture, convince her horses that I am the treat-giving woman, and to please come hang out with me.
I do have the Wi-Fi one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll take Izzy up there. She'll love it. There's chickens. Unfortunately, Drumstick died, so my turkey is no longer there.
She doesn't like cold.
Well, it's not
It's
going to
not
be.
bad in the summer.
Yeah, Minnesota during the summer it can get muggy.
It can get kind of toasty, and she has air conditioning and fans, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we've gone to go see Chris because, you know, Minnesota,
I
home
thought
of
Chris moved to Florida.
He did. He bought a house in Orlando. But his brother Adam's still there, so are his parents. And he still has his condo in downtown Minneapolis.
So we just tell him to show up. Got it. Yeah, Jenny's 4 hours from, no, she's 2.5 hours from Minneapolis, St. Paul. If you go the back roads.
Yeah, his family never are
You
in
just start driving
Mankato.
north.
They're in Mankato. Yeah. I guess I can't. Does
Yeah,
that
we
not
love
work?
Traegers.
There you go. I don't know why I split it into 3, but yes, Traeger Grill. Just go to, let's see, yeah, Traeger.com. Traeger.com. Very worth it. Okay, I know that you say that, Zulu.
No. You ain't wrong, don't you know?
Don't you know, eh?
Don't you know?
Here's
Yeah,
the problem.
it's the wrong part of Minnesota to have the A. The A you get when you're closer to the east, closer to the Nova Scotia end.
Yeah. I had to have an argument with a small person that we don't wear shorts in March.
Why
You
not?
do if you're wearing a long dress.
She wasn't. She told me it was above 45 degrees, so she was wearing shorts.
Mayor McNome, I walked outside to go to work the other day. It was 29 degrees and I was wearing a short sleeve shirt with no jacket. My neighbors think I'm nuts.
Oh yeah, Orange. Like when I lived in Mississippi, we got the best. This was the best. When I was living in Mississippi, we got a text that went out to. We get this text that goes out to everybody that it's going to be critically cold, and that we need to wear, you know, multiple layers and all of the things. And I showed up there like, where's your jacket? Where's your underlayer? Where's this? I was like, it's 65 degrees. It's shorts and t-shirt weapons weather north of the Mason-Dixon line. Not wearing Under Armour cold gear.
Wow.
Good shooting, Mayor.
I still want the unicorn gun. You've seen
Maddie's
it.
stealing my unicorn. Maddie's stealing my unicorn.
No, you've seen the unicorn gun.
I love it. It's awesome. You need it.
Yeah, I'm not the one that thinks they need it.
Okay, Sod, why did the mayor put a t-shirt on his bike? I'm going to ask.
I don't know. I make a really good beef Wellington with duxelle sauce.
I'm still full from dinner.
I
think I have the stuff to make stuffed mushrooms.
I don't know what I'm going to do this year for Father's Day other than have a psychiatric breakdown. But I generally make a standing rib roast.
Ooh, that could be fun too. All right, ladies, I will return momentarily. I need to reboot my machine.
Okay, bye.
Got all wonky.
No
You're back.
bullshit. Okay, do we have any more gun noob questions? Do we have any other interesting gun questions?
I have a question for you.
Yes, I'll marry you.
Smith & Wesson. Okay. Yeah, I know you will. Smith & Wesson MP40.
Mm-hmm.
Distance to target less than 10 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Between target and collateral damage points, there are not one, not two, not three, but 4 walls and a brick facade. Do you think that bullet will go through all that?
No,
Oh, good. So my
not
exit
even
plan is
close.
perfect. Cough, cough, quiplash.
Not even close.
Yeah, that's why I picked the bedroom in my house that I picked, because if somebody would break in, I duck to the far side of the bed, I'm armed, and I get to use the bed as my bench rest, and there's 4 layers between me and anybody else. So I don't have to worry about it. Collateral damage.
Well,
Because I'm fairly certain both dogs will be hiding on the other side of the bed with me. They're useless. But they're cute.
not.
They're so cute, Loki.
They're not useless. And there's a tiny human that would get very mad at her aunt over calling her Blanche and Apple useless.
Well, as far as protection goes, they've got a lot of bark. They're just simple alarm dogs. They're not dogs.
Yeah, well, I have a toddler.
To keep the salt off of it. Oh my word. Sod.
Yeah.
Sod,
So
sod,
I love
sod.
Sod.
Oh,
No, so
he makes me happy.
I know Sod makes me happy too. No, so here's like at my I don't give details, lots of details out, but I will say in my house I have a cathedral entryway, and when I first bought the house it was like an open banister, but we had to, when I redid it I did it as a half wall, so like at the very top it's like almost shoulder height, because somebody learned they could rappel with an open banister and use it as a tie-off.
Gee, I wonder who that one was.
So the banister got ripped out and a wall got built. But you have to go up half the stairs and then it makes a 90-degree turn and you come up the stairs. And I closed off the like where you could look down. I just made a wall.
Yeah.
So like you can't lean over where the chandelier or anything is. So almost directly across from the top of those stairs is my bedroom door. So it literally would force anyone who came into my house into the fatal funnel.
Yeah, that's literally what mine is. I have a fatal funnel, and my cold air return. My house is old enough; it had the old floor furnace in it. My cold air return is actually the old floor furnace vent. So if I do shoot somebody there, they're just going to drain out into the floor vent, so it won't be hard to clean up.
I
thought
have
this through.
I have carpeting there, but I have carpeting, but yeah, mine is a fatal funnel, and you wouldn't have a chance, nor would you be able to see until it was far too late. But I can see from like easily to the landing, just the way it is.
Yeah,
So
that's the way mine is. I actually have a bird's eye view that I can see the front door.
Well, contrary to
And if you
some,
come through the back door, I'm going to hear that when the door opens, so I'm not worried about it. It's like, come on in. You're not going to be happy when you find me. Yes,
speaking of
do not, no panty raids at my house, Thomas. Not unless I willingly let you in the door.
the doggies love me, they'll willingly let me in.
Okay. Some old dude. I have a bit of a southern accent. We call you Sod. Unfortunately, with my little southern accent, it sometimes comes out Sod. McNome, yeah, I bet it did. It was
Yeah,
probably really good wool carpet, and then yeah, and it was gonna wear for forever.
yeah.
Crazy.
The thing is, if you do my job long enough, you can get blood out of anything.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good question. If you're going to unalive a Russian mobster and crawling through the air vents, do you bring a rope?
Yes.
Depends on if the air vents are running through the ceiling or if they're running through the walls.
Regardless, you bring a rope.
I would think you bring a rope.
I do.
My friends are always amazed. I'll pull up somewhere and they'll need something. I'll go, hold on. And I run to my pickup truck because I have it.
Yeah, I get the like, are you Mary Poppins? Like, what the hell else is in the back of that vehicle?
Pretty much. They're like, you have all the stuff. And it's like, well, I've lived a while. I'm prepared.
Okay, so funny story time that this reminded me of. When I first met one of the people that's my older one's godfather. He is an original OG Crip out of Compton, California. So not really the person you want to argue with. I mean, in theory, whatever.
Well, yeah, no, don't argue with me.
So it's tone, whatever. So the one day, his son knocks on the door and goes, one of his two kids, and he goes, Miss Stephanie, my dad needs your help. I'm thinking something happened. He got hurt. He's drunk again. Who knows? I walk in. Patty, I shit you not, the man is holding an RPG.
What?
I walk in the front door and I'm like, I have questions. So many
Yeah.
questions. What is that? And he is like, oh, don't you? No, I know what that is. Like when I said, what is that? It wasn't me asking you like to define
What is that?
RPG. Like I know logically what that is. I do. I'm just concerned about why you haven't in Mrs. Okay.
Why do you have it and how did you get it and why do you need it?
You're gonna ask
It-
the OG Crip
And what
from...
do you want to take out with it?
Hold on. You are going to ask an original shot caller OG Crip from Compton those questions.
Might not express them out loud. I'd probably just look at him and go, cool, walk away.
What did I just walk into?
So
Girls chatting.
when I was in Mississippi, my neighbor he was a Crip from Compton. He was an OG shot caller for the Crips. And one day
Some
his
old
son,
dude, yes. Bruce Bannister was the Hulk.
Bruce
Yeah.
Banner. It's Banner.
we know.
Bannister.
Yeah, I know. Who cares?
I walked into Mississippi. Yeah, I didn't walk in as much as like I moved there, but I walked into his house and was like, "What? Tone? What?"
I'm getting tired, Amanda.
I said, "Tone. What? What? What do you need?" And he looks at me and he goes, "Can you tell me if I loaded this right?" Legally, no. Legally, I cannot answer these questions.
Legally, I would have just looked at it and went, cool, dude, bye. And just kept doing what I was doing.
I was like, what? What do you want? Like, what? It's like, okay. And I said, is this what you sent Dee and Riri, his kids, to come get me for? And he goes, no. And I was like, okay, cool, because there's a lot wrong with that scenario if that's what you came to me for. What do you need? And he
needs nothing if he's got an RPG. Nothing.
Well, I was just kind of like, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to say here. Like, what are we doing?
Rocco, did you see what I replied to Mayor Wrench with?
So, I said, Patty, I was like, so what do you need? This is the best answer I've ever gotten for a question like that. He looks at me with a completely straight face and goes, Miss Stephanie, I'm like, Tony, you're like old enough to be my dad, and I am your son's god mom. So, you don't call me Miss Stephanie, but what? He goes, I want to know what that white game is. What's that white people game where they take their kitchen table out into the front yard? And then they have ping pong. Beer pong? I don't know why all the white boys got their kitchen table in the front yard. You want me to explain beer pong?
Oh, bless his heart.
And I explain it, and he's like, oh, okay. And then I was like, why? And he's like, well, it's my 40th birthday next week. And we're having a big cookout. Yeah. I'm making pasta salad for it and a cake. He goes, well, we don't drink beer. What else can we use? I was like, I don't even know. And I just like walked back out the door. So I show up at his birthday party. They're playing beer pong with Hennessy in the middle of the front yard.
Oh no.
So,
oh no.
One of my neighbors
used
to help me out. He used to help me out with my yard work. He'd come down and he'd need some money, and I'd say okay, and he'd help me with some of the heavy lifting stuff. Fine, no big deal. And the pandemic hit, and another one of my crazy friends wanted a kimono made. and it's the height of the pandemic. I told him, well, it's going to cost you. So I charged this kid a 12-pack of lavender scented toilet paper and a bottle of Patron Silver to make him his kimono. Because, me being
Priorities.
snarky. He actually found them, so I had to make it. And of course, this gentleman, I took all this alcohol where I was keeping my horse, and I made top shelf margaritas for people, and I still had quite a few left when I came home. So my neighbor said, well, I want to try a top shelf margarita. Next thing I know, my neighbor's down dancing in the middle of the street. And they're playing dominoes in the front yard.
We
And
had
everybody wants to know
Henny
what I drugged Sonny, what I drugged the Sonny with.
We had Henny Pong.
Henny Pong is awesome.
Henny Pong, that could be lethal.
Yes,
So-
Amanda, I like to cause a little chaos. I was being nice. I didn't realize he was a lightweight.
Oh,
Yeah, but here's the thing. A, they were playing Henny Pong. B, one of the guys that was there, his name's Wayne. Wayne's like 5'3", and I can't talk to Wayne because his teeth are inlaid with platinum and diamonds, and I just stare
Oh,
at
he
them.
got his grill done.
Yeah, but his grill doesn't come out.
Oh,
Like, he has the diamonds bezel set into the enamel of the teeth. It's not
yeah,
a
he
grill
got
that
his
you
grill
can
done.
take out.
He got permanent grill. Girl. He's street. He got cred.
oh boy.
Which is fine. But I love Wayne. Every time he sunk a shot during Henny Pong, he would start singing Beat It and like moonwalking.
Oh, yeah, he
In-
was pretty well toast.
In the middle of the front yard while playing Henny Pong. And I can't tell you how many times literally the Gulfport Police Department drove by, took one look at the situation, and were like, we're just gonna go now. What makes it even better is so Tony, he was let out of his gang obligations because he was serving multiple life sentences for capital murder in California.
Yikes.
And he did not do it. Like, he legitimately didn't do it. But you don't snitch. So,
Oh, of course.
when the person that actually did it got busted, they realized that, Tony wasn't guilty, and they let him out. And because he was such a member in high regard and standing, they let him gracefully leave. He still got loose affiliation, but he moved because his oldest is serving life for capital murder, and he did do it, and he didn't want the younger one to fall into that lifestyle, so they had moved to Mississippi. But they moved as a pack, so I had 4 gangsters, 5 living around me, right? No big deal. Until the day, and Patty, you're going to especially love this, I get a knock at my front door, and it's Tony, and he goes, if you don't see me or you hear yelling, I'm going to need you to come get me. And I'm like, I'm just not going to ask questions, but okay. Patty, I walked back into the house. The next thing I know, I hear yelling. I go outside. My man is chasing. Is chasing one of his sons down the street while holding a staple gun in his hand.
Huh?
Screaming at the top of his lungs to pull his pants up, stop busting a sag, and I quote, "You know what that means? You all think it means you hard. That ain't what it means in prison. You busting a sag in prison, this is what it means." And he went into graphic detail about what that meant you were willing to do in prison.
Oh.
And that ain't no son of his is going to be like that. And that apparently the belt that was holding his jeans mid-thigh, since it was not where it needed to be, and obviously was not working, that he was going to staple his pants to their appropriate location.
You know what police officers say about people that wear their pants like that?
Mm-hmm.
They ain't
But
thieves because they can't run.
But the best part is, he's literally screaming this as he is chasing his child down the street with a staple gun.
Oh, yeah.
And then you have me just standing there.
So watch it. You get watch it. Some of them staple guns can get ugly.
I was like, "What are you? Pull your pants up, or I'm gonna put them where they go." Oh God!
It's like, please don't hurt the child while I'm here. I don't want to have to treat him.
I couldn't stop laughing.
A valid question.
Oh, Amanda, you have not even begun to hear stories.
Yeah, Amanda, I have.
Loki has caused me to almost die of asthma attacks with some of her stories. They're legendary.
Yeah, like my lady that was naked and armed with a mailbox.
Oh, the scooter lady with the walker is still one of my favorites.
Yeah, she was good. But that was like the best thing. Tony running down the street screaming this, chasing his own kid with a staple gun. I was just like, I'm gonna go back in the house.
Air pressure
Amanda?
can actually do that.
Amanda, all I can tell you is start writing them down.
Yeah, Amanda, I set a washing machine full of water on fire.
I have questions.
Go for it.
What did you do?
What did who do?
Me.
How did that occur?
Well, I've always been the spoiled child to a degree. Well, not to a degree, but yeah. And my mom always did my laundry, which no big deal. So I get to college and I have to do my own laundry. And my best friend Brandy had her wisdom teeth taken out and was sleeping in my bed and drooled all over my absolutely gorgeous cream color damask Ralph Lauren comforter.
Oh.
And I said, I'm like, what am I supposed to do now? Because I don't like the. Yeah. So I call my mom and I'm like, Mom, this is what happened. Like, what can I wash my comforter? Like at the apartment, or do I have to like go get it dry clean? You know, I could do my own laundry when it came to like clothes, but I never had to deal with, comforters. And my mom's like, yeah, it'll be fine. It's only a full. It's not like you're trying to do a king. It'll be fine. Your regular size washing machine. And I was like, okay. So I chuck it into the washing machine. I add my soap. I do the things. And now, mind you, this is Saturday, the day before Easter. Because Brandy decided that was a good weekend to get her wisdom teeth taken out, but whatever. She is high as all get out on pain meds.
Well, yeah, that tends to happen.
Right? And I was like, okay. So I'm trying to do stuff. And she wanders into my room and goes, you set the washer on fire. It's hot. And I was like, how much Percocet did you take? Because it's not computing. And she goes, no, it's hot. And I was like, Brandy, I don't know how much Percocet you took, but I'm going to need you to not do that again. And she just kept telling me, no. So I go into our laundry room, and there's smoke coming out of the washing machine. Okay. So I go to open the top, and guess what? It's hot. So I open it, and flames shoot out. And I call the fire department.
Lauren.
Yeah, they're sitting there. I call the fire department. And my fire chief goes, that's fine, but I'm bringing your gear. You're putting your own fire out.
Oh.
Okay. And he goes, but you mean the dryer, right?
No.
No, the washing machine. And he hung up on me. The next thing I know, I have like 6 fire trucks and 52 police cars outside.
They all want to see.
Right. Because they want to
Because
know
only
how a
Loki could set the washing machine on fire.
Right. So they're all like, I'm gonna need, yeah. So we put it out, and I call Whirlpool, who was the maker. And I was like, so my washing machine caught on fire?
And somebody sat there in stunned silence.
No. They go, you mean the dryer, honey?
No.
And I said, unless I've been putting soap and water into my dryer all this time? No. You mean the washer? Turns out that very nice Ralph Lauren Damask comforter, full of water? Unlike cheap comforters, it absorbs a lot of water and got too heavy for the motor when it tried to drain it and spin it. It drained just enough water that like a half an inch of this comforter was above the water line, and it sent sparks up between the drum and the outside of the washing machine because the motor burned out. and caught that little like half inch of comforter that was not still submerged on fire. And it was drying my comforter as it was burning it.
Mm.
That's one way to get the water out.
Because I don't know. So then the next week there was a letter taped to everybody's doors that you weren't allowed to wash your comforters in your dorm or condo or campus apartment washers anymore. You had to take it to a laundromat. To this day, I get made fun of for setting something full of water on fire. It's not my fault.
That's because you're special.
That's okay. My ex-wife managed to set a pot of water. She put a pot of water on, put a little bit of oil in it, and the fire alarms went off about 5 minutes later. She had actually set the pan on fire.
Yeah, my mom did
I
that
had a
with one of
roommate do that.
my mom did that. I have like all clad pots and pans, and I have a really big all clad stock pot, and I call it the beagle pot because you could probably cook a beagle in it. It's so big.
Mm-hmm.
And when my little one was a baby, I used to put like all the bottles and everything in it and boil the water in it and sterilize everything. My mom forgot to turn it off when she went for a walk with my little one, and I got home and all the water had evaporated and it had melted all the bottles and everything into
Wow.
molten plastic, and it was all on fire. And that stunk.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, that smell is bad.
Smell of torched plastic. Yes. I am very familiar.
Loki is another on this increasingly concerning list. Yeah, Amanda, I set the washer on fire. I've set several things on fire accidentally. You are not a channel member for this, but I hold the distinction that there is a special rule in my school district's handbook because of me.
I certainly not,
In your
Maddie. That would be
defense.
terrible.
In your defense, you had
I
your
was-
dad's permission to do it.
Yeah, so Amanda, what you're missing is when I took AP chemistry, the way your final project was ranked. You could do anything that was chemistry, and the class got to vote, and the person that got the most votes got the 100, and then it went down from there. And the teacher had the right to essentially raise grades. So, like, just because you got the least number of votes, you weren't getting a C kind of thing. And I decided most girls baked because baking is chemistry. And that's the way to, the majority of the class, which was males' hearts, is like, go cookies. Yay. I made thermite because why
could.
not? And when I told the teacher what I wanted to do, he said, that's fine, but I want a notarized letter in writing from your father that says he knows what you're doing. And I was like, okay.
Thermite is not an explosive.
Well, that's all I got. I'll get there. And I was like, okay. So my dad got me a notarized letter. And I showed up to school. And I made it. And then I was like, before I set this off, are we going to go stand behind the Lexan? Or like, what are we going to do? And he's like, it's not going to work. I'm like, okay. So I lit it and ran and like dove for the floor. And the teacher looks at me, he goes, we being a bit dramatic? I was like, Like a minute later, the bright white flame starts. and it looks like the sun is in the middle of the room glowing. And it is throwing sparks in an adequate enough distance that the ceiling tiles are on fire. And I didn't measure and line things up exactly perfectly. So the fire sand bucket that was supposed to catch the molten iron underneath, it kind of hit the side of it and melted a hole in it, and it melted into those fireproof chemistry desks and set off the smoke alarms, and the fire department got called. And then I had an expulsion hearing, and my argument was, but I had permission and I have a notarized letter. And they were like, okay, but you can't make explosives in school. And I was like, it's not, it's an incendiary. I read. The school district says no drugs, no explosives, no, it does not say no incendiary devices. I made an incendiary. That is not in the school handbook. They looked at the chemistry teacher. He went, I didn't think she'd be able to pull it off, but she is right. It's not in there. So there's now a specific rule that says you can't make incendiary devices in my high school.
We're going to fix that, they said.
Uh-huh.
And so it was.
I also got in trouble for putting trash cans over flagpoles. They had to call the fire department to get them down. I laughed. It was the best senior prank ever.
I don't know. The cow on the second floor of one of the buildings at my high school was pretty epic.
We had somebody do that. I also let 2 pigs loose in the school. One of them had a 1 spray painted on it, and then I spray painted a 3 on the other one, and I greased him and let him loose.
Good girl.
And when I got called down to the principal's office, I had some explaining to do, I was told. And I looked at the 2 pigs and I said, where's the 3rd one?
Oh.
And they
Oh,
looked at
dear.
me and they were like, what? I'm like, I was racing them. Didn't you see the numbers on them? And
Okay.
it was a good,
Number
like,
2.
it was
See,
a good, like, it was literally a good 3 hours before they realized there was no pig number 2. They searched that school top to bottom repeatedly.
I want somebody in here to explain the exploding fire extinguisher.
Amanda, explain.
Yeah, she actually wrote it out.
Yeah, Amanda, that's happened. I know my best friend Brandy did that. She put Dawn dish soap in the dishwasher, and it looked like we had a rave going.
She explained it right after that. Okay. I'm just going to scroll back here real quick.
Yeah,
one of her friends put it in his backpack, and yeah, the hilarity ensued.
yeah, that's not bad. I mean, like, Amanda, we had a discussion that me being the OSHA person, I had kids that use the fire extinguishers to have wheelchair races. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, we had
They
that
can't
one.
fill out an application, but they know how to use fire extinguishers for propulsion. Imagine that.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
also the ones that tried to light flour on fire. I know I told you that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that was a bad day.
Loki, you know what I like about our streams? They
They're fucking
usually
random.
devolve into you telling stories.
of like the stupidest shit that's my day. Yeah, anybody that like Brandy and everybody got bored and they petitioned MTV for a reality show one day. I was like, why? No one wants to follow me around.
And just how long was somebody suspended for the 2 pigs? I want to know.
Me?
Yeah.
I didn't get suspended for the pigs. The principal thought it was really funny that they spent hours looking for one of them. He was more amused than anything.
But you
he
still
was
had
less- he was less so amused over the garbage cans.
I can imagine.
But I'm not disrespectful in that I didn't put it over the American flag. I just put it over like the municipal flag and the state flag, and they couldn't figure out how to get them down.
They're probably trying to figure out how you got them up there.
Yeah, we had that problem too. They couldn't figure out how they got it up there. And I was like, I got it up there easily. And then watching all of the teachers try to figure out the logic puzzle of getting it back down. Or trying to reverse it.
Flagpoles?
What?
How tall were these flagpoles?
15 feet.
That shouldn't be too hard.
So not that tall.
It was hard to do. Because where it was.
Doing it quietly, I think, was probably a challenge.
No, not really. I was able to do it with things I could fit in my back pocket. So it wasn't that hard. The problem was I got in trouble all the time, and 95% of the time I did nothing wrong. I was just the person that would encourage the stoners at the school. And then they would get in trouble. And then I would get in trouble and be like, well, why am I in trouble? I didn't do it. And the principal was like, stop convincing stupid kids to do your fucking bidding. I know they're too dumb to figure this out on their own. Okay, point taken. Point taken.
Even back in high school, Loki had beasties.
Yup.
I don't know what they were. It was just fun to walk over to the stoners and like explain to them how to do something. Yeah, Mayor Wrench. We had our VOTEC kids hid for all 4 tires for the teacher's car. The football team also put another teacher's car on the tennis court because they had to turn it on its side to get it through the door.
That took some doing.
It was great. Yeah, I got myself in plenty of trouble. The majority of it is funny now to me. It was funny then, but we had the so ammonium iodide is completely harmless when wet, but it's a very powerful contact explosive when dry. So I made it and painted the back of all of the drawers to my teacher's desk with it. And I left them all open like a half an inch. And then I dripped it on the floor in the path from the door to the back of the desk. So the next morning when he got to school and was walking on it, it sounded like little pops, and there was little puffs of yellow smoke. And he went to slam the desk drawer because it was open, and it blew it back open. Yeah, he wasn't happy with me for that one.
Yeah, you're in a little trouble for that one, probably. Oh, well.
My argument was I deserve an A. It's chemistry.
Yeah.
His argument was if you spent half as much time studying for actual chemistry as you did fucking around and finding ways to torment people with chemistry, you'd have a PhD by now.
Oh, but it's fun.
On some levels, he's not wrong.
Yes. Oh. See, in high school, I was the sort of little investigative journalist creature that had friends in the AV club. There were no secrets at that school by the end of the year.
I had friends in the AV club. Yeah, I was, yeah, thermite and setting water on fire. It was great. Wait, weirdly innocent kid. You had a 1-day suspension.
Context above.
Yeah, I know, I'm reading it. Nice. Yeah, I missed like 9 weeks of my senior year because I was suspended for stupid shit.
I got a couple of my teachers arrested.
One of my teachers that I always thought was like a creeper got arrested like 4 or 5 years after we graduated for knocking up a student.
Oh.
Yeah, I got asked out by my 8th grade VOAG tech. Yeah, the VOTech teacher. I was like 22 at the time. And he's like, I thought you were cute in 7th grade. I'm like, oh, you're gross. Go away.
I wish.
At least you waited till after you graduated.
Oh, he was not a good looking guy. Yeah, no.
That's okay, Amanda. I mean, I get the protecting of friends. My best friend Brandy will tell you she was in a physically abusive relationship when she and I met, which did not end well for the gentleman. And he decided to try to win her back by shipping her an Easter basket with a bunny that like danced and made noise. So I lit it on fire and sent him a picture of it melting and talking at the same time.
Oh, ow.
Yeah, we can play Quiplash. 1 game of Quiplash. Let's go.
Okay.
Opal, Patty and I decided we're sharing you.
Hi, Opal. Yeah, we're going to share you, and we're going to spend summers with you in Canada, and then we're going to go down to Arizona and hang out with Maddie in the winter when it's warm down there.
Oh, nope, there you go. There you go, folks.
Wait. Uh-oh. I wasn't fast enough.
Put in Amanda, forgive yourself. It's fine.
PBED.
What does she need to forgive herself for?
For slapping
Oh, no, don't worry about it.
Oh, yeah. Don't worry about that at all.
They deserve it.
What's our room code, guys?
PBED.
Papa Bravo Echo Delta.
Mayor Wrench, we have already told you. You already know the answer to that. I asked you to start an entire no militia for me. If that doesn't say love, I don't know what else does.
He's like, butter spread me.
Let's go.
I think that's what the girls are supposed to say.
Okay. Bring it on, Opal.
If he really wants to be pegged, we can do that. I'm pretty sure someone's got the.
How am I the VIP again?
You were the first one in.
Croc,
He gave you the
where
code
are
first.
you?
I haven't actually played one of these games in a few days.
Croc, pick your damn person.
Fine, I'm in.
You got told.
You too, Opal. Get your ass in here.
Opal,
Opal,
I
get
am
your butt in
waiting.
here.
If I'm getting dragged into this, you're coming in too.
Opal, we are waiting.
Opal, you've been summoned. I'm the nice wife. Loki is not. Remember that. Going to bed.
You're not allowed to go to bed without your wives, Opal.
How about you, Sod? Come on.
Oh yeah, let's get Sod in here.
I can't tell. Oh, there we go. Now I can see
Yes,
who else in there.
Sod, I did it
You
with
haven't
ammonium
you haven't
iodide.
shared it to the YouTube there, Mr.
Oh, yeah, he
You
did.
gotta share it to the YouTube, dude.
He did.
It's on screen.
After
It
I
is.
told
It's
him
on the
to.
screen. No, it's been there.
Oh, has it?
Yeah, been there the whole time.
I'm looking at the stream. Oh, there's a problem. Never mind.
We're missing 3 more. Let's go. Where's Belle? Where's the
Where'd
beautiful
Maddie go?
Belle?
I think that Maddie went to bed.
Rar. Hey, pal. You're being summoned. Yes.
Pretty please.
We need a couple more players.
It's not just that we need a couple more players. I actually like your wife.
That too. All right.
I adore Belle.
You gotta see Belle's sense of humor too. As soon as I find Dick Sword.
I'd choose
Okay.
Belle over you most days.
That bad, huh?
No, I just like Belle.
Oh, okay.
Well, Loki, one thing is he has to sleep sometime.
Yes, I do.
No, he doesn't. After this round, we can all go to bed. But we
Yeah,
had
it's past my
specific
bedtime
requests.
too.
Yeah, I got
What?
a couple hours of writing to do.
Yeah. But we promised 1 round. Amanda, you in? Oh, yeah, there you are. You're the moon. You're the banana moon. Inappropriate things we were trying to decide that it looked like earlier.
Papa, Bravo, Echo, Delta.
Come on, Sod.
Come on, dude.
Sod, get in the game.
Belle's a star.
Mm-hmm.
Belle's a star.
We're waiting for Sod.
Well, there's only 6 of us watching now, so
Whatever.
Ah. I screwed that up. There we go. That's better.
Let's go.
Yeah, I think everybody's signed in now, Amanda.
All right. Everybody but time, but that's okay. We'll get over it. And 3, 2, 1. Round 1. Sing it. Okay.
The name of this game is Quiplash.
I love the person earlier that was like, we need an R-rated version.
Schmitty here. Are you expecting someone else, perhaps? No, of course not. Oh, and if you're not in the game, you can still kind of be
Thank you,
in
Blanche.
the game. Just punch in the room code and join the audience.
By the way, the new Blanche pictures on Instagram
Ready or
are
not,
beautiful,
it's
Blanche.
You'll answer 2 prompts on
Oh,
your
she's getting a haircut this week
Each of the
too.
responses will square off against someone else's. The remaining players vote on their favorite.
So she'll have new pictures up on Saturday.
Points are awarded based on the percentage of people who went for your answer. So make them count.
Uh-oh.
Your entire lives have led to this moment.
Has anybody seen Hetrick or D. Peterson lately?
Is
D. Peterson a couple of weeks ago. Hetrick, not for
forever.
forever. It's been like a month and a half, 2 months.
Voting time.
One really big piece of bread.
Come on, guys, you gotta vote.
We got to vote. Come on. Oh.
Moving right along. What should have happened at the end of Titanic? Here's the fun part. Pick your favorite quip.
And for the record, one of those is actually a thing that happened.
I've never actually seen the entire movie. Of course, that would be me and Patty.
Of course.
Well, Belle hasn't seen it
Next
either.
on the docket, the worst ringtone to play on your phone during a work meeting. Now, pick your favorite.
I love it.
The chief, the engineer that designed the ship, he was on board the Titanic and went down with it. Oh,
McNome.
Who was the other one?
Didn't show that in the
Oh,
movie.
All right, check this out. The worst thing to use as a straw. Now it gets real. Pick your favorite.
It just reminds me of the snorting pixie stick thing.
The Criplash is everywhere.
I know, honey. As soon as we play this, we will go outside.
And now, the most useless feature of luxury coffins. Decisions. Choose your favorite.
Just so you know, while Staying Alive by the Bee Gees may be a great CPR song, some of the other ones that have the right tempo are less
Next, we have
acceptable.
Or less
the name
appropriate.
of a planet covered in corn.
Apple, come here.
Time to pick the one you like best.
I'm gonna get yelled at later.
Why?
You want me to rub your head, don't you? Such a sweet little puppy.
Because she got one vote compared to my 4.
Oh, I'll never forget you, round 1. But now it's time to look at the scores.
McGnome's winning. Guarantee it.
Gnome.
Oh, he is. You're right. Oh no, McNome and I are
Squirrel's tied
tied.
with McGnome.
Next up is a little thing I call round 2. Prompts are more out there.
That's okay. You still have time to fuck it up, squirrel.
Yeah.
I love you too, Apple. Yes, I do. I love you too, Apple.
We all love Apple.
can-
The question is, does Apple love us some days?
Yeah, well, right now she wants to go outside and go potty, and she's doing her little head buddy. I love you, mommy. Please pay attention to me. I need you. Dance. And giving kisses. And Blanche is laying on my feet.
Time's almost done. Save your bacon with a safety quip.
Come on, Belle.
It's go time. Let's start with a video that would not go over well on TikTok. All right, vote.
I don't understand TikTok. I've tried. I can't, I don't understand how people get, obsessed with it and the scrolling and the...
Well played, Amanda.
Next one up, the name of an intensely competitive cooking show. Okay, choose your favorite.
What do you want? You want to go visit Loki? Okay. I put you on a plane. She can pick you up at the airport.
Mm-hmm.
And next,
Anytime you want, Apple.
let's to democracy, but few know they also invented blank. And now it's time to vote for your favorite.
You are more than welcome, Apple. There's a little girl that will snuggle you and brush your hair and pet you to death.
She says, okay.
Oh,
Next up,
Gnome.
what does Punxsutawney Phil do for spring break? All right, choose your favorite.
One of those seems like a safety clip.
it probably is. They might both be, actually.
Panda's doing good.
Next,
Really?
an old-fashioned way to cheer up your friend after a breakup.
You get so mad at the stupidest stuff.
All right, people, it's voting time.
Why, what's she mad at now?
Huh?
I went
What?
to pick her up to put her on the floor, and she got mad. So now she's cuddling me, going, my life sucks. You don't love me.
I got a little laugh. It's all good.
Okay, what's next? Idea for an improved hotel room sign. Privacy, please. I'm blank. Okay, everybody, pick your favorite quip.
That's just wrong on so many levels. Oh, he super quiplash gnome.
Hey there, Mayor.
Now that you've laid waste to round 2, let's survey the damage.
I'll be interested.
McGnome.
Nope, it's the squirrel.
Prepare yourself for Riplash, where points flow like honey. On your device, you'll see a prompt that requires 3 separate responses. Pretty cool, huh?
Ah, crap. I got too many characters.
Tick-tock, time's almost up.
Good.
Are you ready for magic? Your 3-step plan for escaping prison that's bound to fail. All right, vote for the one you like best.
Okay.
I don't know that the one would fail. It would just be a unique way of doing it.
Ouch.
Hey, super quiplash.
Ouch.
Sorry, Belle.
The 3 unique things you offer the world are decisions. Choose your favorite.
Opal.
Opal's in the audience.
No. One of those screams opal.
There's Greg. Hi, Greg.
I knew who that was because she said it
3
earlier.
things the world will be dealing with next year that nobody would predict. Now it gets real. Pick your favorite. Glory or tragedy
Split in half.
awaits. Let's see the final scores.
Patty will probably be winning.
Nope.
Oh. Hey, wait a minute. That wasn't supposed to happen.
Okay. Well, our game is done. I shall say good night. We should all say good night.
Congrats.
All right.
Congrats.
See you guys tomorrow.
I'll see you tomorrow. Love y'all.
night,
Have a good
Greg.
night.
Good night, Amanda. Bye-bye.